Why can't you have a nose 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot.
I don't think I have to read it. Why can't humans hear a dog whistle? Because dogs can't whistle.
Thank you both. And why do you like that one, John?
Because Steve was talking about whistling a few minutes ago, and I wanted to give him a hard time.
Seems fitting. Welcome, guys, to the What Makes You Smile podcast, which is really, as I was saying before, an antidote to all the toxicity and craziness and negativity and complaining in the world.
I don't notice any.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a surprise. So I always preface this by saying this is what I sometimes joke is the 5 to 9 podcast. Has nothing to do with my professional life or none of the volunteer work or boards that I sit on. This is really just about me having conversations with people that make me smile and the friends that make my life, enjoyable and fun. So,
and then you invited us.
I know. For some reason, I decided to have the two of you come. So it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to talk about some stuff, and then I'm going to finish with asking you guys what makes you smile. So, I was going to start with some questions. First of all, we've known each other for 30 years or so. Well, you and I have 10 or 12 years, and I've known you for 30 years. Yeah. The funny thing is that when we get together now, you guys drive together. When you come up, and I'm always like, what are those drives like? Because I'm always here, I meet you downtown, I'm like sometimes a little envious of that. So what are some of the things you guys talk about? I'm assuming you talk about me a lot.
It's predominantly about you.
Yeah, obviously good things
we know
too.
You make us smile.
Yeah, so.
But I think we just catch up on life. We tell each other about our family stories and family, bumps and good stuff that goes on in the family, and we share professional stories about what our day jobs are about, and tend to talk about music and somewhere.
Yeah, it usually fits in. Yeah, music comes up fairly regularly. That's
Definitely.
Not a surprise.
John's got his phone there, and he's playing this song.
I have to turn it down. I always have to turn the heat up and the music down. I'm not joking.
Is that a stereotype? You're the elder statesman, right?
Yeah, but
so there's that
trouble with the volume.
Oh, okay.
I'm teasing. No, it's and we talk. I mean, I've kind of taken a break from actual toxicity and kind of stepped back from kind of following the human misery that is the news.
Yeah.
And so we used to talk a lot about the news.
That's how you got your news, was from Steve?
I would for a long time, I've been I follow the news a little unhealthily, and that's what kind of predicated that. So we would talk a lot about politics, different things going on.
Yeah.
Steve, to his credit, does not give me a hard time about not being able to talk about that anymore.
John said he's out. I think that was January 2025.
November 2024.
Oh, November 2024. He said he was out.
That's a hard out.
And we've followed that.
I'm a hard out. I have not read the news since November of 2024.
Yeah, and I would say I'm still pretty deep in the news. But we still have
lots
to talk about.
Yeah, but I couldn't. It was just not to talk about negativity, but that's the thing. It was not healthy for me mentally. Yeah. And so I just said, look, I'll hear about the big news by talking to people, or someone will text me something, or stumble across it. But just try to focus on silly things. I went to a butter tart festival on the weekend that I wouldn't have known about.
How'd you?
The Bowmanville Butter Tart Festival.
Really?
Yeah. It was more of a farmer's market than a festival, but it was fun. We had a great time.
Interesting. Did you get to pick the winner?
So you think? So that's what we talked about. Is that my youngest daughter and I we were talking about what to expect at a butter tart festival because we had never been, and we thought there would be a dance at the end called the Butter Ball.
Yeah.
They'd have a butter tart cannon.
Yeah.
And they would crown a butter tart king and queen.
Yeah. Even the International Pie Match has Queen of the Furrows.
I know. They really missed an opportunity. It's not the first time they've done it. And I was like, I was not disappointed by the butter tarts.
Yeah.
But we thought it's a bit of a missed opportunity if you're going to call it a festival. It was super fun though. We had a good time.
Interesting. Well, I wish I'd known that.
But there were 2 butter tart festivals in the same weekend. One in Midland, which is miles away, and one in Bowmanville. So we went to the one in Bowmanville. I'm not on some butter tart newsletter or anything.
Where do you stand on raisins and butter tarts? We're getting into hard-hitting journalism.
But you know my stance on raisins. They ruin everything.
Absolutely.
I disagree.
They ruin everything.
Lots of raisins.
This is how the band breaks up. It's over raisins.
Everything.
Really?
We agree on most things, Raisins in anything.
Oh, raisins in cereal.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Tastes like hate. They're awful.
Tastes like hate.
They're awful. The thing with raisins is they ruin everything that they're in. So you can't just pick them out because the taste of raisins is everywhere.
I feel like
we
just lost the older audience on that. Everybody, the retirement home audience is like, nope.
No, not down with the raisins.
Some angry letters.
They did everything in the butter tart, man. They score bar, turtles, chocolate. I mean, just everything you could think of. They put it in a.
Sound a bit of a purist.
Oh, they had plain. Great. They had walnut, pecan, like everything you could think of. We even bought some cannolis. I know.
Some cannolis.
That was some fresh filled cannolis. They were amazing. Some guy from Etobicoke came up. It was awesome.
Interesting.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to.
Next year,
that butter. We should do that. Be a big outing.
There was no band playing. Steve was saying, was there band playing?
We should be the live music for the.
Yeah, we should be the live music for the Butter Tart Festival. I'd write a song called "No Raisins" just for it.
Oh, well, see, I'm
like that. Shannon. What's the guy who died? They're saying
Shannon Hoon.
Shannon Hoon. No raisins, no rain.
Well, it's like the Lego Movie had the best little teaser in it. I don't know if you saw it, but my kids watching it, right? And they were trying to make some character in it angry, because when they got angry, they got strong. It's like, people who pollute and war, and people who put raisins in stuff. and then the cat said it was perfectly fine without raisins. And it was perfect. Absolutely. That's how I feel. Perfectly fine.
Well, see, you're helping me, because I always had this FOMO thing where I was like, I'm missing out on this drive. And I was like, I feel better now.
We should record it. It should be our podcast.
Yeah, you guys should have
really.
Just driving around having a conversation.
We talk a lot about life, like Steve said, about families, about what's going on. We talk about music and the band, and we talk about you all the time.
Yeah,
and then we had Randy, our / drummer, who drove up with us once and told us all about his career in the 70s, on the road, hotel rooms in North Bay, police involvement, illicit affairs. We can't say any of those on this podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut this part.
It was great.
It was great.
That was one of the best. I would say it was like the top 5.
I remember that. I really missed that.
Eye-opening.
I feel like I should start driving into the city so I can drive back here with you guys, and then get a ride down and then drive home again, just to get that 45 minutes. So
exactly.
It's fun. That's awesome.
It is good fun.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of the and I think we've talked about this before, just how important music has been for me, at various times in my life, and
for sure.
When we recorded your Vanity Project album, the chord progressions album, which was an amazing experience. I needed that. I was going through the middle of a separation and divorce, and it was such an important thing for me to be part of and share that experience with you. And I sort of look at those milestones over the last 30 years. And I've not to make too much of it, but I honestly have, and I believe that if I hadn't picked up a guitar when I was 16, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. And not to overstate it, but it probably is true. I likely would have dropped out of school. I probably wouldn't have gone to university. A fairly safe bet. And so all these things together, the sharing the stuff with you guys. So I wanted, did you have maybe not a similar experience, but when was that time you knew that music was something that was going to be with you for a long, long time?
I think for me it was I went to summer camp as a kid, and 11, 12, 13, I knew that I love music to perform it. I knew I loved music to listen to when I was 7, 8, 9, but I had no concept of whether I could actually perform it until I was an early teenager. And then there was a lot of music performances, talent shows, and that kind of stuff at summer camp, and I got into it, and that's where it took off from.
Right.
I mean, I have to agree with you. Love listening to music, love talking about music, love writing music, and this thing with the three of us has been great for the last few years. Since we started in 2014 as a bigger project, but I think 2018 we started to do it as a threesome. I think, and it's been great. I mean, the writing for us has been so fun.
And I shouldn't call it the Vanity Project, but it's
no.
It was so.
But he got it going, right? Steve called me out of the blue.
It was that was the sort of Steve's got this thing and he's doing.
He called me out of the blue. We hadn't been connected in ages. We maybe bumped into each other or whatever, and I hadn't really been playing that much, and I wasn't in a band at the time, right? or hadn't been in a band for a very long time. And so Judy's like, my wife was like, are you going to do it? And I was like, I guess. I'm like, and I got a good story about the first practice. And I was super intimidated because I had not played much. I was like, I got my friend Darryl, my other friend Darryl, to come over and teach me the songs, learn the songs, and teach me the songs. So when I showed up to practice, I wouldn't be like useless, right? Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm coming into, right? And so we went to the first practice, super fun. And then when I came home, my wife was like, she's like, how'd it go? I'm like, great, it was fun, good to see every guy, good to meet everybody. She's like, are you guys like gonna play live? Or are you gonna? I'm like, absolutely not. I was not.
So not a live.
So it's.
I want to play live anymore.
So at the beginning, I was just super intimidated by it, right?
Yeah.
Way less so now, obviously, right? But it's not it's not at the top of my list, but I always enjoy it. I always enjoy it afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I mean, it came.
We did it.
Yeah,
you survived. Yeah, it's like skydiving.
Well, it was like, so remember we played the music release show, right, at Transact.
Yeah. And
it was a big show. Halfway through, we take a break. So we had 2 sets. I'm coming off the stage, and Neil's like, "Oh, you're relaxed yet?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm not relaxed, right?" And so we do it. We come out. We do the whole second set. We're finished, and we're walking off the stage completely down. And I looked at Neil. I'm like, "Now I'm relaxed."
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, playing this, like I've said this to you guys before, like I'll be in not the greatest mood and not super motivated, but I'm like, okay, I've made this commitment. I'm gonna go, and it's not a reflection of you guys. It's more just, being motivated. And I come and I never regret it, ever. I always come home in a good mood, no matter what we've done, whether we write music, play music, chit chat, whatever, right? Like it always puts me in a better mood, always. And I love the creativity that goes into it, the writing. You guys are great to make music with. It's very relaxed. It's very, very, very. It's a very easy place to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think when there's something about songs you've written, and I would joke about it, but you sharing that and asking people to be part of that was it's really special. Like we always bring songs together as a group, and there's a part of you that you put into that I think takes some courage to be able to say, this is me. I'm going to share it with us 3, or with, in that case, 8 people and a producer, and then a crowd. Like, and I've always, that's, as we've talked about, I've always wrestled with that's not my thing.
It's a little too personal.
Yeah, to share that stuff. I always joke that they didn't make Picasso paint the same painting over and over again, right? Like, why do you make him? Not that I'm comparing myself to Picasso, but I sort of
make art once and be done with it.
Yeah, the visual artist, like a painter, it's like, well, you do it once and that's it. You get to move on.
But the thing is, they paint over and over and over to make it perfect.
I know,
right?
but it's like we play songs that you wrote years ago, or I wrote years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so
there's very little more satisfying when we get a song together and it gets to a spot and it sounds good, and I'm like, wow, that's great. Yeah. Like I listen to it and I'm like, and I'm not just, I am tooting our horn, but I mean, like, it feels good to do that and be part of that. Part of that process. So it's just awesome.
So what that songwriting process for you? Like I've never really talked about sort of the magic of it. Like,
well, that's a good question. I think there's a couple avenues for me that it comes from. In the last decade, when I've been writing songs, I'm very tapped into what people say, because like there's comments that people make all day that like for me can be just like a great starting point for a song, for a lyric. Whether that's in my day job and someone says something, I'll literally like grab a piece of paper, write it down, put it in my pocket, or my kids or my wife will say something. So sometimes there's something that really captures me that's out in the world. Lately, like in the last couple of years, I have had this very weird thing where I'm waking up in the middle of the night with melodies and pick up my phone and record these melodies. And a lot of the songs that I've drawn in the last couple of years have been born out of some melody that was in a dream that I recorded.
Isn't that Yellow Submarine written that way, or one of those?
Yesterday
was that's what it was.
Yeah. This has been like super interesting for me, because I feel like, because my piano and guitar skill playing is only okay, and so when I sit down with the instrument and write, it's a little bit limiting. But when the song comes in a dream, which it does, it's just like it's it's so wide open for me as to where it goes. So I guess those would be the two main ways of doing things these days. What about you?
Well, I've struggled. I've never been, like, it's such a mystery to me. Like, I don't subscribe to any faith other than this notion that there's something higher than all of us that's floating around out there that somehow occasionally gets channeled into something that means something to me, right? And I've never been able to figure out, like, how, like, why would I put those words together and try and convey what I'm feeling when it's not actually the words I would typically use to convey what I'm feeling, right? That's the poetry that goes along with it, and that's the mystery. And I chase it like a high, right? Like it's, and I don't write as much as I used to, and I miss it. And I sometimes pick up my guitar and just sort of play around and wind up with half songs. But it is like a bolt of lightning. It's unlike anything else that I experience. Like you get that too. Right?
Well, it happens. Like we wrote one song where we're like, okay, what are we working on? I started playing something. It's like, wait, see, I got something that might fit that. We literally wrote Hustle in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that to me.
I'd written this poem. He had this lick. Boom.
And it worked.
It was
and
weird.
It's like that feeling. Like when a song comes together, whether it's sometimes it's great that we've some songs like Renaissance Man or whatever we've worked all the way through and really kind of like we're like, okay, it's okay, we'll do this, we'll try different things, there's a bunch of different things we do, and then sometimes it just hits and you're like, holy cow, and that's just awesome. That's such a cool feeling. And
it is magical.
Yeah,
like, it is like
just
some other power that you're talking about or something.
And when you play it for the other thing is when I play our music for somebody or we play in front of people and we get feedback from people, that's super fun because one, it's super rewarding because we work hard at this, but it's neat to see which songs connect with people, right? Like, and some people are like, I love that song. I'm like, really? Okay, that's cool. Like, like I have my favorites for sure. So like, it changes pretty much every month, but it's neat to get that feedback from a song. You're like, I wouldn't have thought that connected with that specific person or whatever, right? But it just works.
Yeah, and it's an interesting, like, part of where I've gotten to is that I think because I chase that sort of that moment of clairvoyance that turns itself into a song, and it has to be like that I've become really lazy because I don't work at things, right? Like if it doesn't come
unless it comes right away,
yeah. I'm just like, I want it, like I want it all. Well, I want it all right now. And we had those songwriting challenges during the pandemic, which was another thing. Like
that was cool.
You look at these markers where we together have sort of been there, and it's been so important to my mental health, and hopefully to yours as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was those things, but. Like some of those songs, I think it was because you're so in tune with what was going on in your space right there. Like you weren't distracted by the broader world, other than this insanity around us, that I was able to channel in ways that I don't think I've ever been able to. Like some of them, I write them as fast as I could play them.
Some of those song challenges, like I also too made it like I wasn't gonna really dwell on it. Just like here's the idea that one of us would throw out, and we just went with it. And I agree with that was fun. And I would like to go and dig some of those out because some of them were really good.
I have one that I have not brought.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Still?
Start to finish. I'm like, I don't know why I've never brought it. It's just never come up.
Yeah.
So
you should definitely bring it.
Next practice.
Next time.
So how about you? When did you know that music was going to be something that was going to be...
So much like Steve, I listened to a ton of music, early teens, really got into listening to music, spent all of my money on all music I could buy all the time. I didn't come to guitar until much later. I was like 17 going on 18, and I started learning guitar. And I had taken piano lessons when I was really little, like 10 or 11, right? And then just really got into it. Played and goofed around with friends and made noise and whatever. And then was in a band before Steve. I had some friends that played, and we were kind of hacked around a bit. Started being, hey, this is super fun to do, and then connected with Steve after the band he was with you in, right? We were in one band, we were terrible, but it was fun, and then just started doing it, and then got away from it, right? Like life kind of took over. Played in the band for a while, moved to the U.S. for a while, just didn't really play that much, and then still always into listening to music and discovering music. That's a huge thing for me, but then. I thank Steve every day pretty much for calling me out of the blue. Like you hunted me down because I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't have any social media.
I found you.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
You found me through LinkedIn, and weirdly enough,
determination.
I worked 10 minutes from where you worked. Like it was so funny. We worked in the same neighborhood. I worked at Yonge and Eglinton.
Yeah.
Steve, I get this message, this baritone message on my voicemail. I was like, wow. And then I told Judy, she's like, are you going to do it? I'm like, oh, I'll see. I don't know. I mean, nothing against Steve, just I hadn't been playing, right? And super glad I did.
Well, actually, you may have more questions, but just to attend to that. That project was all about finding people over the 20 years that I did music that I had connections with.
Yeah. Which actually was very meaningful to me.
It wasn't necessarily who was the best player. Not that, of course, you guys
clearly.
Of course, you guys
are. It's actually to find out this way.
Of course, you guys are great players. But it was all about getting that alchemy in a room of people that I would be comfortable with, confident with, that we could do the recording. No egos, like people who wanted, to railroad the project. And it worked out. Like I actually was very happy with the personnel.
Oh, yeah.
And when they all said no, then
I know. I've always wondered how many said no before you got to me.
I should have. Yeah.
I remember the message too. It was on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Is this the Darryl that played bass in Wiseacre?
Oh, you weren't connected with them either.
No,
that's hilarious.
No, I just got this message. Are you the Darryl that played bass in Wiseacre? I'm like, are you the Steve that sang in Wiseacre?
Depends on who's asking.
I got to verify this, and then it kind of went from there. And I hadn't played bass in years because I thought I'd grown up and started playing guitar. I'm like, no, what do you want, man? So it's worked out well because it was just a waiting game. I got rid of everybody else, and now I can play guitar again, right? Like I don't have to play bass.
I was like so rusty, hadn't played with people in ages, and just like it was. But that's awesome, and it's super meaningful to me that we've done it and that you did it, and I feel super fortunate.
Yeah. So just knowing my aversion to performing, like what is it about it? Like you love.
You have an aversion to perform?
Well, I'm like I. Yeah.
I thought you had an aversion to singing in front of people.
No, it's not my thing. Like it's.
Really?
I do it strictly because I get to do this with you guys.
Got it.
I would.
It's funny because we're both super comfortable with public speaking.
Yeah,
super comfortable. I have no issue
Yeah.
with public speaking. Playing in front of people makes me super nervous.
Oh, it doesn't make me nervous. I'm just like
crazy nervous.
I'd rather hang out in a room and do this, talk and play guitar. Like that's the part that I love. And then standing all of us in a line facing a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
Like, well, I hope they're getting something out of this.
Yeah.
So, but this seems to be your thing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm not even sure I know how to answer that. I think it's just like that kind of magic chemistry that happens when you can, like it's a little bit like what Jon said, when people come out afterwards and say, oh, I really connected to that song.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess there's some sort of like connection that goes on in the air between the performer and the audience that is energizing, I guess I would say. So I think that's how I would answer the question.
It's a cool feeling when that happens, and it's a very it's not something that everybody can do.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like I said, I always, I'm always stressed about it, but then I always feel good about it afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the communal act, the shared act of doing something. And, I joke that it's men's league hockey for musicians.
Exactly.
Right?
That's exactly what it
but
is.
But it's
yeah, that's right.
And I think why that is being part of a healthy gang, right? Like it's where you can talk about stuff and we talk about things in between songs.
Oh, for sure.
You can share songs that, a lot of them don't have anything to do with anybody, but a lot of them have something to do with somebody. Right?
Yeah, they can be very personal.
Yeah,
we write very personal songs, right?
Yeah.
And they can be, absolutely.
So, and I think, and part of just that, I know you like the performing thing, whereas my favorite part is sort of in the background, the inside joke that Jon and I always have about who screwed up, right? Like
looking at each other like, was that me or you?
It's like when it goes wrong.
Just like the singer.
Yeah, we're just always like, what?
Where are we?
Who was that? What is that?
Darryl leans
Yeah,
in.
we always know, and it's trying to minimize the mistakes. Not
as long as we don't both make
perfection.
the same mistake at the same time, we're all set.
Yeah,
We cover for each other regularly.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I guess, with that, like, where do you see this? Like, what do you want to do with music, right? Like,
Am I asked to answer that?
Yeah, well, both of you.
I could answer for Steve.
Yeah.
He wants to win a Juno.
I do want to win a Juno. I'm way
Which
too
is cool.
old.
We're not too old.
I think, like, this year, I'm hoping to figure this out. Had some bumps that got in my way, but I would say we have 10 or 11, I think, very strong recordable songs.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can make it work financially and timing wise, and to go in there and do it. I mean, you know, I would like to do one more kind of, whether you want to call it a vanity project. I mean, I guess it's not a vanity project because it's the three of us, but I'm still keen on that. So I hope that works. I'm going to hopefully pursue that a little bit further in terms of the logistics of it over the next little while. But yeah, that's what I don't know where it goes, but I think we have some strong enough material to record it and put it out there and see see what kind of feedback.
We have enough, not to toot our own horn, we have enough strong material for a double album.
Maybe, yeah.
There are some, I think, some solid songs.
They're different genres, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We'd have to pick, like, you got to decide what, are we going to make a cohesive group like a record?
Right.
Fair enough, and I'm cool with that. Or do we just record everything and then plunk it in? Like, there's some stuff that doesn't always, like, there's definitely some different genres and stuff, which is fun.
Yeah. Good. And actually, I had another
question. What do you want to say about that, Darryl?
Yeah. Well, I want to keep doing this, right? Like, this is the thing. Yeah. Like, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, as I said, I've always enjoyed this thing you do when you get in a room with other musicians, and with the two of you in particular. But anytime I get to play music is something that's really meaningful, right? Whether it's with
it's fun playing with people. I like I practice and I write stuff and do stuff, but playing with people absolutely is super enjoyable at any skill level. I don't care, just playing along, playing with people is super fun.
Yeah, and I think part of that, and this podcast is part of, I think, and maybe I'm just getting old, but I'm starting to try. I think I'm appreciating more what I have the privilege to do, which is, so sometimes you're like, why don't you sing? I'm like, well, because I just want to play. And so what I'll find myself doing is sort of laying back, and even on Hustle, where I don't play much, or any other song where I sort of a little more sparse, is I just get the chance to sit back and listen, right, and be part of this experience, which is really special. For me anyhow. So hopefully it means something to you.
Absolutely.
So I have one more question that I'm going to ask you. What makes you smile? This is sort of, and I didn't prompt you on this, because we share all kinds of, I think, musical influences. What's your Desert Island album? Yeah, there you go. You've probably got, John's got like 10.
Jon,
I know, but I can pick one.
Really?
100%.
If it's Bon Jovi, I'm going to be so happy.
It's definitely not Bon Jovi.
Slippery When Wet.
I would say...
No, it's Whitesnake. No.
Yeah.
I would say 10, Pearl Jam.
Really?
That would be
All right. Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique. 100%.
Yeah.
I can listen to that album anytime, anywhere, and I usually listen to it straight through.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Which is both of those are amazing. Like,
that album was 25 years ahead of its time. It's so good. It's so dense. I mean, for me, and again, I'm sure people don't like it, but it's a spectacular album in my opinion.
All right, can't wait to hear your answer.
There's plenty others. But
I got plenty others too, but
I know.
Yeah,
Pearl Jam, like 10 isn't my Desert Island. It would have been at one point. It's probably one of the most influential albums on me from a musical perspective and just as a person, because it kind of came at the right time where I needed that kind of music.
Me too.
And we've tried to emulate that for the last 30 years, right?
Yeah. Well, in the 90s, we were trying to do that.
Exactly. For me, it's Mule Variations by Tom Waits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
To that.
Yeah, and there's a couple of reasons. One is there's some really tender ballads on there, sort of juxtaposed against some really rock and stomp type songs. So, it's always been one that I would go to, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now I gotta
go listen to it too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's some parts of it. There's a couple like, you could edit that out if you were to do the sort of the 30th anniversary analogy. So, yeah. And then the other one is just sort of the Pearl Jam one is, what's the most influential album on you?
Oh my God.
When you say, I guess influential, whatever.
Like whatever had the most impact on you. That's sort of shaped your sort of worldview, your musical.
Well, I would have to say, like when I was 10 years old, I just was talking about this with my son. Like, there was something about the Beatles' White Album. It's 1977 when I'm 10.
Yeah.
And that's in my dad's record collection. And I think I got obsessed by the lack of artwork, the font on the front, and then I would sit and read the liner notes and read all the lyrics, and I think there was just so much variety in that one record. It was a double album.
Right.
that I think like that just like kind of blew me away that one group of guys could write that much breadth of material that was so different. So I would say that would be my answer. Can't wait for Jon's.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many different eras. This is going to sound really cheesy, but there's different eras in my life. One, this is going to sound really cheesy. I was just reading a big article about this the other day, dug it up. The Cult's Electric, because I went from really into new wave, synthesizer, that kind of music, into basically classic rock, but new classic rock and guitar-driven rock. And I got into grunge, and I got into Pearl Jam, Nirvana, all that stuff because of that album. Because I liked the Cult because it was like more of this new wave, and then they got Bob Rock and whatever, right? So that was a big shift in musical. I mean, but there's so many throughout the years that shift. I mean, Radiohead, the Bends was a big one. I got that's as close to prog rock as I get, although I do not like new Radiohead, but that era Radiohead I quite liked. But yeah, that's trying to think of the kind of seminal albums.
I understand that, like there is like it's chapters of your life where you're listening to stuff and it has a different thumbprint at different times.
There was, and I will tell you the most recent. I mean, this is not most recent, but long ago when we lived in Texas, there was KGSR was a local radio station, and I'm not really a country guy. Right? I'm much more so now, and really kind of like a ton of it. But there was KGSR, and they would do live recordings, and then every Thanksgiving they would release a double album of live recordings. And for a long time, I would buy it, and just incredible music, but so many artists. Yeah. Shaky Graves, Lucinda Williams, Bob Schneider, like just tons and tons, Wilco, all that stuff, right? And really got into that Americana sound and got into that. And that was a big shift for me as I kind of got into my 30s and late 30s, and certainly musically as well, right? So I still like the rock. I still like to blast it every now and then. But, yeah.
Let's hear. I need to hear your answer.
It's a Sunvolt Trace.
Oh, you've told us.
Yeah. And it was partly because it sort of reignited my relationship with country music, which opened up a bunch of other doors from that sort of early 90s, late 80s, early 90s rock that I was in. And I'd grown up with country music, and it did two things. One is it sort of reminded me that you can do more than just be a rock musician. You could play acoustic country music and other things, but it also helped me build a better connection with my parents, because my dad was into country, my mom was into folk, and it opened those doors up so you could have a shared language with your and it may have just been timing that I was getting older and I'd be able to appreciate those things. So that's all right, so I know you've got a heart out, so before we go, what makes you smile? Whoever wants to start.
Makes me smile, I would say watching my wife and kids doing like zany crap on the couch.
You have to pick something?
That's all I can say. Zany crap.
Music discovery, like listening to music and going down musical rabbit holes, is probably one of my most favorite things to do. Usually in front of a campfire, a couple of beers, but that I could do literally for hours and hours and hours and hours, and just finding a new song from a band that you knew, and you're like, oh, I hadn't heard that before. Finding a new band, you're like, oh, and you got a rabbit hole and go down that. That is nothing but entertaining for me. Yeah. That and Robot Wars, watching robots beat each other up all day, every day. New season coming out. I'm so excited.
We could do a whole episode on Robot Wars.
We could do a whole episode on Robot Wars, man.
I wouldn't have much to contribute. I would not get in your way.
It'd be awesome.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys both for this. This is I'm fortunate to have the opportunity to share time with both of you, and have you come and talk about some of the things that make you smile, make me smile. And, we have so much of that in common, and I think to strip away some of the armor that we often put up in sort of response to the crazy world we're part of. Thank you for being vulnerable, which is not always the easiest thing to do.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Great.
All right. And thanks to Chris for being here late on a Monday
Thanks, Chris.
Evening. All right. Thanks.
Everyone is trying to make a hustle, trying to get ahead, flex some muscle. Everyone make a dime, trying to make it work, hoping to survive. Race to the finish line, spending a little time smelling the roses. Look out for number one, think like you're having fun with postures and poses. People are vying to be first in line just to survive.